What's up, YouTube? Back at you with another video. I got my main man here.
The Prince of Fresh Air, aka the most charismatic man in entertainment. Thank you for having me again, man.
My brother. So, all right. So this is a bit of an emergency quick take. You know what I'm saying? Because basically, I just got through watching True Story on Netflix. For those that don't know, True Story on Netflix is a episodic series featuring Kevin Hart and Wesley Snipes. And long story short, I just got through telling Percy over the phone a couple of minutes ago that if I had seen True Story in 2021, that would have been probably hands down the single worst piece of cinema that I had seen all year. Now, granted, we just started 2022. So now True Story is the worst thing that I've seen thus far this year. You know what I'm saying? And it set the bar pretty low because I haven't been on Netflix in a while. See, I just got through watching Cobra Kai. And it's like, how do you go from riding the high of Cobra Kai to the depths of black cinema known as True Story? All right. So, but basically, my point is, why is it that every time, all right, I'm actually going to read my tweet because it actually, starts with there. So I said, literally tired of black storytelling being rooted in violence, trauma, and death. Not to say those things are not part of life, but at this point, it's like we're being spoon or force-fed these fictional tragedies. I did not enjoy True Story on Netflix at all. As an actor, I think it's very discouraging, or I don't want to say frightening, but I'll use the word discouraging because I can't think of anything else. That it's like the stories that you and I, because you're an actor as well, the roles and stories that will be made available to us 9 times out of 10 has to involve us mistreating each other in some way, shape, or form. Because let's talk about it. Power is nothing but black people mistreating each other in some way, shape, or form. Snowfall, on Hulu or wherever, network shows that. It's just black people mistreating each other. True Story, right. Black people mistreating each other. The Harder They Fall, which is, it was a decent movie, but when you really think about it, it's just black people killing each other the entire time. So, what's your opinion on that, brother?
Oh, I definitely agree. And let me first start off saying it was good to see Wesley Snipes not in the B-level movie because, he's a good actor in his own right. So I did watch it. I watched it with the fam over Thanksgiving. And I don't get me wrong. I appreciate the fact that it was a darker side of Kevin. And, we got to see Wesley Snipes back in the mainstream cinema again. But, yeah, I definitely agree. I think we have to do better with black storytelling, Power, and all of those shows. I'm not a big fan of it because it deals with drugs, crime, and, just a lack of family. Like, Power is supposed to be about family. And yet again, family betrays each other. This show was about family. And then again, they betrayed each other with the ending of Kevin, killing Wesley at the end. So I think in terms of the cinema and stuff like that, like in terms of the camera work and some of the acting, I think it was done. I think it was well done.
It was trash.
I think the plot
outside of Wesley Snipes, it was garbage.
Oh yeah, Kevin is not a actor you want to take seriously, but Wesley killed it. Mm-hmm. But in terms of the actual plot, the whole thing, yeah, it was. I wish we could have more uplifting piece of art.
Right.
Like, I think the whole concept of drugs, crime, it gets overplayed, and we need to stop pushing that narrative on black people. But
see, just to give people some context, so basically, for those who haven't seen it, Wesley Snipes and Kevin Hart are brothers, and Kevin Hart is kind of portraying another version of himself. So he's a successful comedian from Philly, and Wesley Snipes is his brother. Now, Wesley attempts to extort him, and that extortion attempt basically was thwarted. And because of that failed attempt, it pretty much set off like a slew and conundrum of crime and mishaps that essentially ruined Kevin Hart's life. And Kevin Hart, without spoiling it, if you want to go see it or not, eventually kills his brother in the end. But my issue with him killing him Not only is the fact that he killed him, it's the fact that he didn't even have to. And then on top of that, he gets away with everything.
Yep.
So my question is, it's like, I always say this, there's always intent behind the content. So it's like every piece of, media that you watch, whether it's a commercial, it's a TV show, it's a talk show, it's a movie, you know what I'm saying? Series, whatever. There's always something that, you're being told. There's a message like being conveyed to. So let's say if you see like an orange juice commercial, the point of the message of the commercial to get to you as an audience member is to get you to buy, the said orange juice or the product. You see what I'm saying? So I'm sitting here and mind you, having gotten through all 7 episodes, I'm asking myself, what are they trying to tell me with this story? Like, what's the moral of the story? There was none. It was just a fictional tragedy, a redundant display of Black death, Black trauma, Black on Black violence. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, there was a scene where, you remember the scene where the Russian guy beats up Wesley Snipes' girlfriend at the end?
Oh yeah,
because she's at his house, and I was sitting there and I was like, yo, I have to see this shit. And then mind you, that never gets resolved. Like, nobody comes to her rescue, none of that shit. He just kills her. We're just watching ourselves just get killed on camera. You know what I'm saying? Like figuratively, literally. And it's like, yo, what? Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd hate to believe that I'm the only one that's bothered by this shit, because the only reason why I even watched it, I mean, obviously because Wesley Snipes is my second favorite actor, behind Will Smith. But at the same time, I heard a lot of people say, oh my God, true story, it was so good, blah, blah, blah. And I wish I didn't watch this shit.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it first started off nice. Like, you had Wesley as the older brother, Kevin was helping him out, helping him start his business. And then it turned into this whole convolution plot where Wesley was just using him, using his money and extorting him, had the girls help him. It's, man,
I saw that from a mile away. Mind you, I was just waiting until Kevin Hart found out, because once they were at the bar, and then Kevin was like, yo, man, nah, I got to get out of here. And then Wesley was like, oh, no, stay. Oh, drink. And then trying to get him, like purposely trying to get him to do things that he blatantly told you that he doesn't want to do for certain reasons. You make him do it anyway. Then he's laid up in the bed with some chick. And then all of a sudden, when he's asleep, you walk in, as in Wesley. Wesley walks in and says, oh, she's dead. It's like, yo, where are you even coming from? I already knew something was up. And then the guy that they hired to get rid of her body is asking him for $500,000 at the top of every month. So for a year straight, he wants $500,000 every month. So that's $6 million. And I'm just like, yo, like, first of all, like, where did you come from? And like everything already, like, I connected the dots. Apparently, Kevin Hart didn't. You see what I'm saying?
You know what? I think this show kind of proved, like, I think the whole message was you can't trust nobody, especially family. Because when you think about it, like,
that's a shitty message.
The I would say the guy that everybody kind of saw as Kevin's helper was the bodyguard. He was by far the most redeeming character.
No, he wasn't, because he went and he extorted him at the end of the movie, because he told him, yo, I'm the only way that I'm not gonna tell everybody what you just told me, because he confessed to everything. He told them the whole story, and then he said, give me $6 million.
But you know what though? I don't blame him, because when you think about it, think about it, he didn't know about all of this until he ended up getting shot at the end. And then he finds out that this was a whole thing with him and his brother, when he warned Kevin that his brother, he should stay away from him. It's not unreasonable, I don't blame him. I think it's just like a bad message. It is. Because ultimately, his relationship with his bodyguard should not come down to money. Like that, to me, it's like, after everything you've been through, you mean to tell me the only thing that's going to make you continue to protect him is the $6 million that he told you he didn't want to pay in the first place? From another black guy. Yep. On top of that. So he didn't want to pay the white guy,
And then really, he don't want to pay his bodyguard either, but he has no choice because he says, yo, I'm going to go to the press unless you pay me the $6 million. Because, you know what I'm saying, you owe me because I was there for you. Well, shit, that's your job. That's what you got paid. That's what you get paid for.
Right.
So this is what's available to us. Because I sit and I ask myself, I'm like, when was the last time I went to go see, you know, like a non-Marvel movie, a black movie, and I was like, wow, like this is an example of what I think we should be. The last time I saw that was Black Panther.
Right. I definitely agree.
How sad is that? That's terrible.
I agree. It's sad.
Now,
and
granted,
you know what?
No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro. My bad.
No, I agree. And what is sad is that we're not putting a stop to it. You know, I think, you know, what's been selling when we talk about actors is, and I'm sure you experienced this, the drug dealer roles, the gangbangers. You know, every time you see a black cast, you know, character, if it's not a Marvel movie, is a gangbanger, a criminal, some type of drug dealer. I think that is the biggest problem, and this movie kind of exacerbated that. And this movie, on a surface level, if you not thinking deep, you're thinking about money. You're thinking money rules everything.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at it deeper, think about it. Every contributing player in this was majority black people. You know, so
right.
Like you said, it is a bad message. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate, like I said, you know, Wesley, one of the best performance in the show. But again, it has to be something more uplifting. I feel like the ending should have had a positive message.
Dude, when he killed his brother and then like just pretended to be all distraught and upset. And it's like, yo, like I understood. Obviously, it's like when he found out that his brother tried to extort him, I understood, you know, the anger. Like I said, from, you know, like a character aspect, I understood that. Like, because even me, I was like, yo, when I was in the skybox, or when Kevin Hart was in the skybox with him at the Sixers game, when that was going on, I told myself, I was like, yo, if I was Kevin Hart, I would have been like, all right, man. And then I would have been like, that's it. That's it. Because he was like, yo, you're dead to me. I would have been like, you know what? That moment was what it was. That's it. And I would have left. And then that would have been that. I wouldn't have killed my brother because it defeats the purpose of him being there for him the entire time. Because like, yo, you're a successful comedian. Just cut him off definitively this time. You see what I'm saying? And It looked like, you know, he tried to, you know what I'm saying? But then obviously the two Russian dudes or whatever, they ended up showing up, you know, the gunfight, and then they ended up chasing them. And then he shot the two of them in the head. But I'm like, well, why didn't you guys just do that in the first place?
Right.
And then after that, he's like, yo, see, he turns around, pops his brother. And it's just like, where are we going with this? What am I supposed to, like, how are you guys trying to make me feel? And it made me feel like shit. Like, honestly, like I felt bad watching it. It's the same thing with The Harder They Fall. I'm like, yo, it's just black on black violence, but stylistic. They just couch it in music and, you know, slow motion, you know what I'm saying? Combat, but then that's it. And the thing is, we're not the ones in control of the stories that are presented. The people behind these movies are not black. They're all white. Even if they say, okay, you know, James Lasseter and Jay-Z are producers on The Harder They Fall, but essentially it's still white people who run Netflix. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
These are the shows and movies that they want us to sit and watch, especially when you go to the movies. It's like you sit there and you're watching people on a big ass screen. So you're seeing people who are larger than life, like literally, you know what I'm saying? You are smaller and you're looking up to these people on a bright ass screen. So your perception of what you're seeing is going to be altered because of the way that it's presented to you in the first place.
No, I agree. You know, I mean, the whole show, yeah. Even like when you look at the secondary characters, his comedy writer, the girl. You remember the scene where, you know, she was on YouTube because she did so good at the comedy club. There was a lot of hatred there. It's like, damn, sound like nothing positive came out of this. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of the scenes were great. You know, some of the acting was good, but I think the message itself Yeah, I think it was terrible. And again, it's a common trope in Hollywood. You know, the only thing black people are good for is murder, death, kill on a black man.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but you know, I think again, this comes down to us as actors and as performers. We have to dictate because when you think about it, Kevin Hart didn't have to do this. Wesley Snipes didn't have to do this. You know, they're loaded. They have money. I think we have to do like the Chadwick Boseman, the Michael B. Jordan stuff, where we're doing things that isn't just about killing, you know, or committing, you know, crimes. It's about helping people. It's about a deeper message. It's about family. You know, this movie was like, oh yeah, family. They just use and abuse you, so you might as well take them off the board. You know, so that's what I got out of it. I don't even think there was a message attached to the show. But I mean, if you watched it, it's really just money's the root of all evil, and you can trust family. Family will backstab you too. That's what I got out of it. And it's a common theme in a lot of black shows nowadays, black movies. It's like, you know.
See, but these films lend itself to what I like to call black on black hostility. Because when you sit there and you're watching movies that all you ever see is black people at war with one another, and you watch these movies and shows over and over and over again, not even to mention the music that, you know, promotes black on black violence and everything like that. What do you think is going to happen when you finally run into somebody black in real life? It's either two things. You're going to completely ignore them, or you're going to be hostile. And we've talked about this, you know, on, you know, I'd say like a couple of other, you know, quick takes and podcasts and things like that in the past. And I've always said that, yo, like, you and I will be more on edge with our own people than people of other races. You see what I'm saying? True. Because the black people in True Story, they weren't hostile with, you know, the other races, like not even the Russian dudes, not even Gene.
No.
You see what I'm saying? Because Kevin Hart set out to kill his fan, you know, initially, but then mind you, he's a white guy. What did he do? He gave him the red carpet, you know, treated him, you know what I'm saying, like a king, all this other types of stuff. But then when it came to everybody else, it was smoke.
Yep.
And I don't know, man, but to me, it's just very disheartening. And it's like, well, what are some things we can do? And I talked about it on my Young Dolph video, and I said, we got to stop supporting it.
We have to. Because
I can't sit there and the thing is, I didn't know. I had no idea that this thing had, you know, this amount of violence and, you know, the story was going to be trash. But I said basically that if a black person has a problem with the way that we are being portrayed and the way that we, you know, conduct ourselves on a grand scale, you have to stop supporting these things that are out. I mean, you shouldn't listen to the trash music. You shouldn't watch the trash movies. You shouldn't watch the trash shows. If I had my way, I would unwatch True Story if I could, because it didn't serve me in anything. Somebody I had actually asked on Twitter, they were like, you know, are there shows, you know, or movies that like, you know, that you avoid watching because it affects you negatively? And I said, yes, certain movies and certain shows I'm just not going to watch because I get nothing out of it. Even people talk about the show with Zendaya on it called Euphoria. And a lot of people say that show is triggering. And then it's like, well, hey, there's always intent behind the content. What are they trying to tell you as an audience member with the story? What message are they trying to convey? It's like Queen and Slim. It's like you get used to Daniel Kaluuya's character and the other girl, and you get to know them and their struggle, and you root for them. And then what happens at the end? If you did or didn't see it, they die on the runway right before they're going to get away.
Right.
And what is it telling you? It's like black people can never have a happy ending.
Nope. Because
True Story, that's not a happy ending. I mean, you know, Kevin Hart's character just, you know, he gets away with it. But how many people had to die in order for him to do that? So what message is that telling black people? Be deceitful, lie, kill, take advantage. You know what I'm saying?
That's how you stay at the top, get to the top.
Well,
you know, like you said, it goes hand in hand with the music, you know, and don't get me wrong, I love a good rap song. But even then, you see the message that they sharing, you know, all these people, Young Dolph, MO3, all these black rappers getting shot up in the street at freaking concerts where it's supposed to be security. It goes hand in hand.
It's all a plot, man. It's all an agenda. It's all an agenda, and it's all a plot just to keep us in one sector of conscious. I don't even say society, but because it starts with the way that we think, not only about ourselves, but with each other. And I believe until we start to hold ourselves accountable for the type of content that we consume, we're always going to be in that same realm, in that same place. And that same place has been a place that we've been dwelling in mentally since decades. I don't want to say hundreds of years because I can't speak on hundreds of years ago. But I know the narrative that's been going on for decades, and it's literally just been this story of, black hostility amongst ourselves. And I'm just very disappointed that,
Hey, hold on, but let's be clear about one thing. It's the dark-skinned black people. It's not the light-skinned. It's the dark-skinned. If you ever noticed that, you never really see like for instance, Zendaya. You always see her in a positive light. Mm-hmm. Why? Because she looks like she could be in a black family or a white family.
Right.
But you never see a dark-skinned person like me or yourself, in that same situation. There's always a criminal, gangbanger, a drug dealer, Well,
I will say that Omari Hardwick, is a light-skinned guy, and his character on Power is basically, just killing niggas and taking advantage and, being a certain type of guy that you say that, is only being portrayed by, dark-skinned, entertainers. You see what I'm saying?
No, but
Power Book 2, it's the same thing. Tariq is a light-skinned actor, and he honestly, to me, is one of the worst characters ever written in cinematic history.
Oh, I should have said it this way. Not so much light-skinned, because when you look at them, you could tell they're black. They're black. But when you look at someone like a Zendaya or the guy from State Farm, these people look like they could be in a black or white family, and you've never seen them playing drug dealers or anything. They're always well,
she plays an addict or some. I mean, I've never seen Euphoria, but I know she's some sort of struggling addict, character or something negative, on that show. I mean, that's why I wouldn't watch it, because I think I saw like one trailer and I was just like, I'm not gonna see a pothole and then go over it, because I know a show like that is not gonna uplift me or make me feel energized in any way, shape or form. But I mean, yeah. But even let's say on Snowfall, the characters that do the most killing is not limited to darker skin or lighter skin, because if you watch that show, it's just all of them. It's all black people, light skin, dark skin, and otherwise.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
But like you said, I think people should watch the show before then, I think
don't watch it. Don't watch True Story if you haven't seen it. Or watch it at your own risk.
At your own risk, exactly. I mean, watch it if you want to see Wesley Snipes back after, scamming the tax system. But other than that, I wouldn't watch it again. I think it wasn't positive. It didn't have a strong message, and it really didn't do anything, especially in the political climate that we're in. I think it could have been a lot more empowering, but they didn't seize the opportunity.
No. So, but pretty much those are my thoughts. I had to make a video talking about this. You know what I'm saying? I've talked about this before, but I'm just gonna say again, people that do not like where black people are at, blame the media and don't support it. You see a kill 'em, shoot 'em type of show. Like, honestly, like, I might not even watch the upcoming season of Snowfall, because it's just like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just gonna be more killing.
I haven't even seen it.
No, well, that's what I'm saying. So I'm contemplating on whether or not, I want to watch it, because at this point it's almost redundant. Yeah. You might have a certain favorite character, there are certain, relationships that people can relate to and might stand out to them. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not anything positive, and it's just to keep us in a lower vibrational state. And those are my thoughts on that.
Oh, I strongly agree. And to that point, I'll say this, when you look at Black cinema, the most popular shows, because you have Blackish, which was more of a family-friendly show, and a bunch of other shows now. Those people don't watch those. They want to watch the Powers. They want to watch the true stories, where we gunning each other down, selling drugs to each other. I think, again, this is going to be something that we don't see change in Hollywood for many years, but at least we can start making a change. Everyone, whether we're artists, actors, or just watchers, I think we have the voice to demand change, and the change, like you said, falls on us. So watch at your own risk.
Watch it at your own risk. And with that said, I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.
Good luck.